What's up, everybody? It's Young here, and welcome to an episode of Nasian Persuasion. Today, I'll be talking about my impressions of Metal Gear Online. The trailer premiered today during the Game Awards, and I personally was blown away. I mean, the hype level is like up here right now. I thought it was amazing. It was everything that I wanted it to be, and maybe more. Let's start talking about some of the things that we saw in the trailer. Right off the bat, we see customization making a return, and from what I saw, just the amount of equipment that you can equip your custom character is a pretty good amount. I mean, I saw all kinds of costumes there. I mean, from heavy-looking, you know, tanky kind of armors to more stealthy kind of suits. And it was great. I think that's one feature that people really wanted to return, and they got it. You know, customization's back, and hopefully we will see a lot more of that in the future. I'm wondering just how extensive character customization can be. Like one of the guys, for example, you could see his hair, and I don't know if you can customize hair and facial features and whatnot. It'd be awesome. But somehow I doubt it. I don't think they'll go that far. I feel like your character needs to have some kind of mask. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I'm really excited to see what the Fox engine can do in terms of character customization. And also you can play as actual characters from the game. I'm assuming that Quiet will be one of the playable characters. We got Snake and Ocelot so far. That's all we know. And my assumption is that these characters will be like team leaders. For certain modes at least, and I also get the feeling that these characters will have certain special abilities, because I mean there's just no way around it. These characters are characters for a reason. There's something special about them. Snake is just a master of infiltration. He's a master soldier, you know, and Ocelot is fucking awesome with his revolver. So I'm assuming that they will have some kind of special ability with perhaps certain drawbacks, and maybe they'll have certain matches or certain game modes where you have to defend the leaders being the characters with these special abilities. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But being able to play these characters is certainly exciting. I mean, Ocelot, God, I've wanted to see him in action for a long time now, and we finally saw a glimpse of it at the very end. Whew, blew me away. I just my pants. Next up, I want to talk about some of the items that I saw in the gameplay footage. It was a gameplay trailer, I suppose, and we got things like what looked like a sonar grenade. Is that right? I don't know. It like beeped and it sent out this sonar kind of wave, and it tagged all the characters within that range. So it looks like it's a stealthier kind of grenade, used more for intel rather than, you know, to kill people. And yeah, that looked very interesting. I don't know if it's an item specific to Snake or if it's something that anyone can use. You'd think that more people would deploy those if everyone could use it, which is why I'm thinking maybe that's a Snake-specific item, but I could be wrong. It could just be for, you know, presentation purposes. But it's a very interesting concept, and with tagging being a huge aspect of Metal Gear Solid 5, of course, it'll make its way to Metal Gear Online, and the sonar grenades I feel like are only possible in Metal Gear Online because it implements the tagging system. Moving on, I want to talk about the wolf plushie, which looked absolutely adorable. I'm a huge fan of wolves. In fact, wolves are my favorite animals. So when I saw that wolf plushie, I really wanted one. They better have that as actual merchandise. I wouldn't see it past them. Like, I know like one of Snake's boots will be sold through Puma or something, so I'm pretty sure that wolf plushie will be sold somehow, some way. And the way I see it is that the wolf plushie kind of acts like the porn magazines, except instead of being super hot, you know, like the porn magazines with all the chicks, it's actually really cute. So it's like, it's the same effect, just different ways of going about it. You know, the magazines make you horny while the plushie melts your heart. So there you go. We also we were also shown the Fulton cannon, which I don't know. That's just what I'm calling it. But it looked to me like a Fulton cannon. It shot this device that essentially attached a Fulton balloon to its target, and it would send them up. It would Fulton them. Now, I find it interesting that you can Fulton people in the middle of the battlefield. What happens if you get Fultoned? Do you get timed out for a certain amount of time? Or, I don't know, do you get recruited? I mean, that to me makes no sense in an online environment. So, yeah, I'm not sure what happens if you get Fulton, but that's interesting. And what I'm thinking is that you will get some kind of projectile-based Fulton in single player, like maybe like a Fulton gun thing or a Fulton grenade launcher or something that, you know, you can Fulton people from afar. I get the feeling that that's actually going to be a weapon in the single player mode. Of course, I'm assuming that's going to be like one of the more advanced weapons, so I would say if that is true, you would get that pretty late in the game, or, you know, relatively late at least. So we got the Fulton cannon, which is what I'm calling it. We got the oh yeah, the mountable, the mini Metal Gear that you can mount. We saw that, we got a glimpse of that in the E3 2013 trailer, and I thought it looked awesome. And it makes an appearance in multiplayer, so we can clearly see that Metal Gear Online is going to draw a lot from the single player, which means that we can use the multiplayer to analyze certain things for the single player. At least that's what I feel. I still haven't analyzed it yet, so I wouldn't know, but I feel like I'll find certain clues for the single player in Metal Gear Online, like the types of items that you'll be able to see in the single player mode. I get the feeling like that the wolf plushie will be actually like a single player item, perhaps. And all this stuff we see here, I feel like most of them will be in single player. So yeah, the mini Metal Gear looks awesome. It looks beastly, and I can't wait to control it in single player, you know, just massacre everyone. Now, it looks really powerful, so I hope that, you know, it's not something that's just kind of there in the battlefield, because at that point, whoever gets a hold of the mini Metal Gear, they pretty much win, because Snake was just winning all over the place with that thing. But at the same time, though, it turns around really slowly, so maybe it's balanced. Like, if you're sneaky enough, you can kind of sneak behind the guy and get him out of there, you know, stab him and then boot him out, and then you can take over. And I mean, who knows? I mean, I haven't played the game yet, so I can't really say for sure how this is going to work, but it looks badass, and I think that's all that matters for now. And one particular item that I really noticed, that really caught my eye, was the thing that simulated Quiet's powers. Snake did something, not exactly sure what, and then he vanished like Quiet did. And this makes me wonder, are Quiet's powers actually supernatural, or are they technological? You know, is it a piece of technology that is allowing Quiet to do all these things, nanomachines, whatever? I'm guessing that it's leaning more towards technology at this point. I don't think Quiet's powers are supernatural, because Snake can simulate them using something. I'm not exactly sure what. I'm gonna have to analyze the trailer to see exactly what it is, if it even provides a hint, but I found it interesting that Snake could use Quiet's powers. So yeah, I get the feeling that that is hinting that Quiet's powers are caused by technology and not supernatural, which honestly I'm not too surprised about, because again, all the supernatural stuff that's happened in other Metal Gear Solid games has been explained with like nanomachines and stuff. So I don't know, I personally would love it if the supernatural just stayed supernatural. And also, just because you see something in Metal Gear Online doesn't necessarily mean it carries over to single player. You know, it could just be an item that simulates Quiet's powers, as I stated before. I use the word simulate because it could be that it just recreates her powers, but it's not actually the real thing. Quiet actually, you know, was born with these powers or whatever. She actually supernaturally has these powers, while Snake needs to use a piece of technology to do the same effect. I don't know. Speculations at this point, you know? But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. But very interesting, I thought. Okay, so moving on, I want to talk about single-player elements that carry over to multiplayer. I already talked about tagging, and also things like, you know, basic things like controls and just the way the character moves. Everything seems to draw from the foundation of the Phantom Pain. It looks just like Phantom Pain, except in a multiplayer environment. Another thing that it draws from the single player is the open worldness of Metal Gear Solid 5. It's not quite as big. You can clearly see that it's a little more bound. You know, I feel like the boundaries are more constrained, but it seems a lot more open, I feel, than like Metal Gear Online 2. It just seems like it's less hallways and narrow passages and more just open spaces to give players room to strategize, to improvise, and to just pull off some crazy strategies and stunts. I feel like coordinated players can pull off some crazy shit, as we saw in the trailer. Like, the strategies that they employed were pretty awesome. Like, just the teamwork going on there, it looked really cool. Anyways, moving on, I want to talk about Ocelot coming in like a fucking badass, just handling those revolvers. God, I missed seeing him do that. I mean, it looks amazing, the animation and all that. Speaking of Ocelot, I love the selfie that he took with Snake at the end. I get the feeling that this isn't just, you know, some kind of comedy thing. I mean, it was really funny, but I believe it is also a gameplay feature. I think that selfies will actually be a part of the game, both in single player and multiplayer. As of late, games have had this trend of implementing selfie features, like Legend of Zelda Wind Waker Wind Waker HD recently implemented a selfie feature. Grand Theft Auto 5, you know, allows you to take pictures and selfies, and I feel like Metal Gear Solid 5 and Metal Gear Online are heading towards that route, and I think it's awesome because the Fox engine looks so good, so why wouldn't you want to give players this tool to snap some awesome in-game pics? I think it's a great idea, but again, speculation. I'm not sure if this is true, but I feel like I'm sure this is true, but just don't quote me on this because I could be wrong. And that pretty much sums up everything that I noticed at first glance from this trailer. Now, I was reading through the comments and I saw that a few of you expressed that you were disappointed with the trailer. Most of you were really excited, expressed my level of interest, which is up here, but some of you were disappointed. And that's totally cool. I'm not like trying to criticize you for having an opinion. I welcome opinions, but what I'm trying to recommend is that you wait until you see more of Metal Gear Online. This is just a very small piece of what's to come. It's just a teaser trailer. A lot of you guys were saying, man, I wish that they would have retained this aspect of Metal Gear Online or that aspect. What we were looking at was probably one of many game modes. We will likely see a lot of familiar elements as well in other game modes once they decide to show that off. But just keep in mind, it's just a trailer, it's an early build, a lot can change, and they are always listening to a player and audience feedback. So, you know, express your feedback and just wait until you see more of the game before rendering a final judgment, because it's the tip of the iceberg. That's all we're looking at with this trailer. Anyways, that pretty much sums up my impressions of Metal Gear Online. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of the trailer. Were you excited? Were you disappointed? Somewhere in between, maybe? Still a little, you know, iffy about certain aspects? Or what's happening in your mind? Let me know in the comments below. Let our nation know in the comments below. And I'll be sure to analyze this trailer, so look forward to that. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you very much, and Young out.